All right, so today is Monday, December 21st, and got some news from another business owner here local to Minneapolis. Now, if you're not in Minneapolis, this video is for you as well. This is the idea of people over property and people over profit. And that may be tough for some people to rack their brain around that, or they may think that they got it already, when really the spirit of it goes a lot deeper than the simplicity of the statement. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just that building can burn before that body can die. You know, it's deeper than that. It's when you look at the origins of this country, you're talking about indigenous folks, and you're talking about folks that were appointed as water protectors, land protectors, and they're protecting certain elements of the land so people can survive, and so organisms can, so life can happen here. And when we talk about profit, when we talk about power, rank, and privilege, and the protectors of that, there's only so many ways to protect that. And one of the main ways to protect that is with violence, to protect that with false narratives, to protect that with police brutality under the guise of protecting and serving. So what's really being protected is power, rank, and privilege, and what the cost is human lives. And this just came out recently, and this is from a neighborhood I grew up in, off of 38th Street, far east, 38th and Minnehaha, 37th. I grew up on 37th Street and 40th Avenue. But this business owner from Fire Rose Coffee said, "This area has always been high concentration of poverty and crime. Hopefully developers will reimagine it to better suit the current community needs and bring vibrancy along with the new police precinct to this part of Minneapolis. Hopefully the vibrant upscale new Target is a sign of things to come." I'm sorry I'm laughing because, again, listen to some of the things that they're saying. We need to bring a police precinct here to get a better community. What happened to the police precinct? It was burned to the ground. There was nothing in there of any value to anybody. So the idea that, oh, poor people are looting, the police precinct. No, that's not a narrative you can really run. There's nothing in there for people to use. So why do you think people burned it to the ground? Because it represents something that has brought death to the community. And so the owner of Fire Roasts, kind of like announcing all of this, shows the disparity between their understanding of South Minneapolis and what's really going on. And now it's 2020. I grew up in the same neighborhood this person is talking about. And in the 90s, in the 2000s, there were bars with like few to no windows. There were a lot of buildings with windows that were boarded up because there were things going on inside of those buildings that they didn't want anybody to see. Now, what was going on inside of those buildings were going hand in hand with the police. And I won't get into details about it, and I could talk about the 90s in South Minneapolis like another day, but there was a lot of illegal activity going on in those buildings that went hand in hand with the police. They signed off on it. And then when they weren't making money off of it anymore, they busted all of it up. And so Longfellow and that community around there surrounding was way different than it is right now. So this owner of Fire Rose Coffee talking about we need to bring in this, that, and the third for a more vibrant community. What is that serving? And what does this person gain from it? This person is a business owner. And it's not to mark them as a business owner saying, hey, you're a business owner, so you can't say anything that reflects this community. You can, but to say that, look at the two things that they brought up. A police precinct and the Target. A police precinct and Target. How disconnected do you have to be to think that bringing up a vibrant Target is going to make a better community? You have to be so far removed to think that that is going to make a better community. What about some type of, community center outside of the YWCA in South Minneapolis where kids can run around, where people can work out? What about possibly a healing center where people that have experienced trauma can go and speak on it and have forums or get some type of therapy? What about building, an ice rink that's not privatized by Minnehaha Academy, where the public can go and not have to freeze their butt off outside and skate, but be indoors and skate. And you don't got to go all the way to Parade Ice Arena and spend, an arm and a leg or, whatever you got from your trust fund. What about building something for the community as opposed to another police precinct? What about building something else other than a Target that profits off of the community and then says that they're doing diversity work? What about doing something different? When you're only in the lane of property and profit can help people, that's not it. That's not it at all. You have to start aligning yourself with what is going to help the time, energy, and spirit of a community. What's going to elevate a community? This person is speaking from a standpoint where I can already tell that they're speaking from profit and property are going to better the people. Couldn't be further from it. You put the people first and then figure out what's going to help them there. And so when you get these epithets from these business owners, you know right away what it is. And we're going to get into a video in the next video that's going to speak to how this city has held property over people and profit over people lawfully, in a lawful way, very, very backwards way. And so it's disappointing to hear this from a business owner in South Minneapolis because they should know better. They should know well better. And if they know anything about Longfellow, they know that it's been gentrified to the T. If you're telling me that it's been bewildered by crime, you're so far gone. You're so far gone. Longfellow used to, everybody still has a fence and kind of a dog, but it was a place where you could get chased by a dog and hear gunshots at the same time. Like it was not a place where you would leave your bike like even attended. So this person, the owner of Fire Roast Coffee, saying this, it does two things, and I'll wrap up on this. One, it shows themselves. It shows their disconnect from the community that they're profiting from. And then two, it's a narrative that's selling people on this idea that there's crime everywhere. We need more police and a Target. What? The hell are you talking about? What? And when people get sold on that and they get these, these crime watch groups that are like, oh, I saw a suspicious person. It goes from like reporting actual crime to like, I saw a suspicious person on the corner last night. Maybe that was one of your neighbors you haven't said hi to. Who knows? Like, you need to build community before you start building police precincts and Targets. And I hate to break it to you, Target is not going to be the one that is going to like vouch for your little coffee shop. Target might actually put it out of business. That's big money. That's real money. So that's another coffee shop I won't be going to. Spy House, check. Fire Roast Coffee, check. And that's what we call voting with your dollars. All right, that's the end of that video. I'll put the link to the owner's statement below. Yeah, and it's tough. It's tough to find a place that you can stand by and buy their coffee as well. It's just getting smaller and smaller, ain't it? All right, well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one.